I think you're muted, or either that or my sound is off. Do. I do have sound.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello,
How are you?
doing well, you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Hi, Patty.
Uh, Patty, I think you're still muted. Well, no, it says you're muted now. Mm,
That's loud.
Okay. Hello.
Hi, Cindy. Change my background.
Can't hear patio.
There we go.
Are we all here? I don't hear Patty.
No, she's there, but yeah, we can't hear her for some reason. Hmm.
You might have your
There we
mic set to the wrong setting. I think if you click the little upward caret thing over the audio, it should give you a choice over which microphone you're using.
Oh, nope. I didn't bring my water or anything in here. Oh. Nope.
Maybe the volume is muted on your computer. That's happened to me before. It's not the Zoom thing, it's the computer volume. I think Patty looks frozen.
She is frozen, is it? No,
Oh,
she's
there she is. No, she's not frozen.
she looks great.
Except we can't hear her.
Mm-mm. Nope.
If it's of any help, I had this problem this morning and I don't know what was wrong with the computer, but I put my earbuds in and used them and they worked fine. So I'm not sure that's helpful, but
Maybe try leaving and logging back in. I don't know. I don't know if it's a Zoom thing or a computer thing though.
Well, if her audio's on and her video's on, she can
Her
see
aud-
those.
But well, she can hear us, so it's a microphone issue.
Right. So what could cause a microphone issue? Let me think. Oh, the sound buttons, she doesn't need a plug-in.
And then did you go to select a microphone and you picked something? When you go to audio, you can select your microphone.
Yeah.
Hmm. And you check the volume.
You hear me now?
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. What'd you do?
yay! What was the secret?
I don't know. I've got like 4 microphones
Oh.
That could have been it.
and I
Yeah.
don't know why. I
I
have no
Too
idea.
techy.
I got a new laptop for Christmas and who knows? Okay, I'm not gonna touch anything. So don't ask me to do anything tonight.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I apologize. Ugh. Old ladies should not be in front of computers. All right.
Speak for yourself.
Okay. All right, 7:36. Sorry about that. Who do we have? I have Karen, Michael, Cindy, Patty. Okay. Approval of minutes.
I move to approve the minutes of December 17th.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
I,
Thank you. Any new business? Go ahead.
I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm the new community program specialist at the Portola Valley Library.
Oh,
I just wanted to introduce myself and get to know you guys a bit more. And my main goal in this position is to make sure that the programs are tailored to your needs. So this is my effort to get to know you guys to be able to better do that.
Well, welcome, welcome, welcome.
do we know your name?
Oh, yes, sorry. So my name is Ermelinda, but you can call me Melly.
Nelly. Yeah, it says Hermelinda up here, Cotting.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Melly. Nice to meet you, Melly.
Good to meet you.
Very
You too.
nice to meet you. Welcome. If there's anything we can do to make your life more miserable, we will certainly, we are the committee to do that. Just ask anybody. And we will also try to make your life better. So if there's anything we can do to help, please let us know.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Old business. How about that game night update?
Hey, Mike, you go with that.
Okay. I think we're all set. So I think one of the items is whether or not to charge a fee for people to attend. And in talking with Cindy, we felt like we could cover everything really without requiring people to pay. The only out-of-pocket cost might be a few inexpensive prizes. And if Cindy's thinking about, some chocolates, it's not that really big of an expense. Um, the actual, the only remaining thing that's left is the Google Docs sign up sheet so that people can sign up as an individual or with teams. The mechanics of that, I think, are still outstanding. So
I'd like to look into that.
Well,
Okay.
so we've done that for trivia night.
Mhm.
And Cindy, whoever is going to be in charge of registration, I should just sit down and at least show you what I did, and I'm sure you can take what I did and improve it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Because
It'd be great.
that's what we did for that, and you can take a look at that. The other thing I did want to mention is, and I sent Cindy a list of like the budget and the things that we did. There are things like tablecloths that you might, you know, they're not expensive, but you might want to consider doing something other than having the plain tables out. You don't have to. But
We're not having food, so I don't see why we'd have tablecloths. It seems kind of odd.
it's decorative. It's
I-
totally, it's decorative to make it more festive. It's not about whether, you don't even
Oh,
need
I
the
see.
tablecloths for the food, because you can wipe the tables down if you wanted to. But so I mean, I'm happy if we want to talk about the registration. I can also just kind of go over things on that. And and I saw the, you know, the save the date in the forum that said the event was free, which is great. And we could even ask people
For
if
donations.
you wanted to, well, donations as well as potluck, you know, just not even for your table. If you want to bring a batch of cookies, you know, we could put out some tables for community stuff. There was something I went to a few years ago, and there was, oh, I know, it was the candidate forum several years ago, and it was to be potluck, and there was so much food there. I mean, there was too much food, but I think people will rally and do stuff and to make it, you know, just share and make it a community event. So if you want to do that, you don't have to.
Right. Okay. Good ideas.
Mhm.
Okay, so one of you is gonna work with Karen to do the sign up things.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cindy and I will connect on that, and I'll show her what was done for trivia night, and other things that if we want to do, we can do. I mean, I'm happy to donate some money for some nice decorations just to make it a little more fun. So,
You know, I'm just throwing this out there. I mean, if we're not charging money, do we need people to register?
Do we need what? People to register? Yeah, we need to know how many tables to set up.
and the teams,
And we wouldn't need to
because
know the teams are and give them name. I mean, you know, it'll be like, I'm assuming there will be a pickleball team, you know, there will be.
Okay, all right.
yeah, and I made place cards.
And
with
I
the
would do
team
that, yeah.
names. And so people came in and they could find their table, and then the single, you know, the people that don't have a team, then actually beforehand I had assigned them teams. So when they came in, they'd say, okay, you're on team red. So
Oh,
they
you
knew
didn't tell them they
where
were
to go.
leftovers? You didn't tell them they were leftovers?
No, I just
Oh.
gave them a team. So, and then of course there'll be no shows, and then you're going to move some people around, but that's the way it works.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds good. Sounds like we'll get a communication out on the forum, you know, a couple weeks in advance of the event, just to give them the you know, the sign up sheet information, who to contact, and you know, the sort of, if they want to bring food for, you know, potluck style, to, you know, and have everyone, you know, enjoy it. They can do so if they wish. Just things like that, just a, you know, a bit of additional detail. So
We should do that a month before. And then Patty, do you know how often we're allowed to put something like that out into the forum? Could I do that every week?
You do it once a week.
Yes.
We did it once a week for the picnic.
Yeah, then that's what I think we should do, is like once a week, starting a month in advance, we do it.
Yeah, we should make sure that it's on the town, the weekly update.
Oh,
I don't know, Karen, who do you contact for that?
well, it used to be Carrie,
I know.
So I think it's probably Elizabeth now, but we can check on that. It's either Christine or Elizabeth. And Cindy, I'm happy to help with some of this stuff. And there was something else I was thinking about. Oh, also, the town has a bi-weekly, every 2 weeks, they have an update, the town update, and we want to know when that is and what the deadline is and get into that as well. But first
And
we have,
What
Oh,
is
go
that
ahead.
update? Is it an email? What's the?
yeah, so they send out an email.
It is an email. Just
It
an
is
email.
an email, and then they also post it on their site as well, right? But
Great. I always feel guilty contacting the town these days.
Christine and actually, I've had a lot of interaction with the town recently, and it's been lovely. It is
Good.
180-degree turn.
Switch.
It's
Good.
yeah, it's been great.
Mhm.
So
My experience with them so far has been absolutely darling. They've been wonderful and
Yeah.
super flexible with us. I really appreciate it.
yeah, it's been a pleasure to actually I don't mind calling them, and they're always really nice. So I think we'll be good on that.
I found they've been very responsive to me as well. Which is a shock because I thought my phone number was blocked from the town. Um,
It-
I was gonna mention, I don't think banners are very effective and we don't have the budget anyway, but I'd be happy to print out at my own expense, they're not that expensive, just some posters. Do you think we put some posters around, like at Roberts, the library?
Yeah,
Do you think that would help?
Well,
I do. Yeah.
yeah, we've done that for trivia night, and I just did 8.5 by 11
Yeah, just
pieces
nothing,
of paper, and there's
nothing
bulletin
fancy.
boards
Yeah,
at the town courts.
Yeah,
And
the courts have
and then
high
Village
use, so that'd be
Square.
great.
There's the town center, the library will put one up for you, Roberts. So
Robert.
all those bulletin boards. I couldn't get one at Alpine Hills because they said it wasn't a club event.
Yeah, it's not.
So that was the one place that they weren't supportive, which sort of surprised me. And I didn't put one at Ladera just because I didn't know how many people we could
you
handle.
put it up at the Sequoias.
Yep. Oh, that'd be great. That's a good idea. Now, I have
So,
not done that one.
I'd be happy to print those. So maybe, what do you think? 8 or 10 of them?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
be more than
that's
enough.
plenty.
Do you just want me to use the flyer that you put together, Michael?
Yeah, that would be fine. We may want to tailor the wording with more specific information about signing up, who to contact, or the Google Doc site, just something that provides, them to where do I, go to get, make sure I have a place.
Cindy,
So-
can you turn that into can we turn the link to a QR code?
Oh, I don't know. QR code.
You can click on a link and actually it'll ask you if you want to print a QR code.
Yeah,
So-
that's really easy to do.
Yeah. I think I can do it, which is a shock. But
I can work with Cindy or Karen, whoever.
yeah, if you get the link, then I think I can put it into a QR code. We could put that on the poster.
Okay, so Karen, we're gonna have to do that in the next week.
Yeah.
Because we want
Yeah,
this by February 8th.
So Cindy, I'm sending you the Google registration form I used
Okay.
last year. And Mike, I don't think I have your updated email in here, at least in my, well, let me just send it to Cindy right now, and we can always get it to Mike, so you can kind of see what was done. Okay?
Okay, that'd be great. And then I can talk to you so we can go through it.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
sounds good, sounds good.
Right. And then just for full disclosure, Alpine Hills asked me and John Myers to actually host a trivia night this February 7th. We did it before. It was successful and they want us to come back.
Well,
So-
of course, it was fun.
Just want it will not be music trivia though at Alpine Hills. It'll just be, general stuff. but just want to let the group know.
And that's actually up. I saw the poster for it. I was at
Okay.
the club today. I do have a question, actually. Is this just music trivia or is the bingo still a part of it? Like
Oh, yeah,
I wasn't,
Bingo
Yeah,
is.
bingo's will be the first round of the town
Okay.
center trivia, music trivia night.
It's gonna
okay,
be
because
so
it said
fun.
music trivia night and I thought maybe it had changed just to music trivia.
Well,
So
So,
we have
yeah.
bingo, we have commercials, we have TV, we have regular song, or name that
When we even, I'll even throw in songs
Fun stuff.
connected to movies.
yeah,
So a lot
and,
of,
and,
yeah,
Titanic, use Titanic.
it's in there.
and I don't know if you saw one of the responses on the forum, but somebody was asking for some swing music, some older generational music.
Trail
And if we
Finder.
wanna
Whoever Trail
highlight,
Finder is.
oh, I think that's Pat,
Okay.
what is her name? Anyway,
It's Peg Goodrich.
Peg Goodrich.
sorry,
She wrote and said
Goodrich.
that she
Peg,
wanted all
Peg.
sorts
Yeah,
of
that's
things.
right, Peg. But anyway, if we are gonna put a flyer at the Sequoias, we need to make sure that we realize that audience as well. Just throwing it
Yeah.
out there.
Okay, that's good to know. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of
They'd have to invite their
time
kids.
period to cover.
They need to have a multi-generational team.
Well, that's what
Well,
I wrote to Peg. She
We
wrote
did say
direct-
starting at 60s. I think that's pretty multi-generational.
Yeah, it is.
I think we can't please everybody. I think we have to
We're not gonna please
know,
anybody. We're gonna please.
set a
team.
barometer and go with it. It just
Yeah.
says on your team's gonna have to be multi-generational,
Exactly.
right? So reach out to some young people and old people.
We might want to say something like that. You need a multi-generational team to do this.
Well, I think we do say on the poster that it spans from the 60s to the current, but
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, I don't think you have to say you need it, but that it might
But they do. It
behoove
would
you to
behoove
do
them.
so. Yes, might be of benefit. So,
all right. Well, we'll have one more meeting before the event,
Event.
so
Okay.
we can tie down any details.
and
Welcome,
Patty and-
Lindsay. Hi,
Hi,
Lindsay.
Oh, hi, Lindsay.
is he there?
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Right
And
there. There he
Well,
is.
it's a good plan we're putting together.
Good to see you,
Uh,
Lindsay.
Yeah.
in the past, we've been able to get the room on the Friday, and the maintenance staff has set up the tables for us. Is that, Patty, do you know when you reserve the room, if that's still the case?
I'll look into that.
All right, thanks.
And did they do the microphone as well? We don't need
No, no. They
we
put
don't
the
need
table-
projection, do we?
No, it's all sound, right, Mike?
Just sound.
Yeah, actually there will be some projected slides off my laptop.
Oh, is that the one,
Okay.
with the name that, the artist?
Yeah, and there might be, multiple clues.
Yeah, yeah.
platform.
Some of it's some real
And
trivia
even,
about.
even to go through the rules, which will be different for each round. I put a slide up with the rules. So
So
that
a couple thoughts on that. Mike, if you connect with John, he hooked up his computer to the projector. So just get some tips from him, but the projector and the speakers and everything's there. They're Bluetooth speakers. So, yeah, we should maybe test things out the day before to make sure it's all working.
Oh yeah, for
But there-
sure. Can I
Yeah.
just go in and, do I need to talk to somebody to go in and test it? Or can I
You'll
just,
have to get on Friday, you'd have to, unless we have the key,
I know the
We'll
code.
have-
I know the code. So
into the
Just,
actual,
Put it on your
let's just
calendar.
connect the day before. We can go in and test it.
yeah, I thought of the code to get the key. Okay, yeah,
okay.
and then just test it out, but it should work. It's just make sure the biggest issue has been sometimes you need batteries. So I always bring extra batteries. when we're doing it.
The other thing we might think about if there's rules is we might think about printing them out, having
Oh,
them on the tables as well.
good idea.
Just a thought.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay.
Okay, great. Looking forward to it. This should be fun.
Yeah, we're excited.
And I will be there to help.
Good.
Darn, we thought we planned it when you were out of town. Guess we screwed up.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I mean, helping to organize teams for, people coming in as ones or twos. That'll be super helpful to just get it started on time.
Yeah,
And
I'm happy to do the entry table or whatever you guys
Yeah,
call it.
well,
Great.
we'll all be on duty that night, so just kind of figure out what you need the committee to do, and that's what we're there for.
Okay, we'll assign jobs.
That's
You know,
fine.
this may make it too complicated, but I could also see if we could borrow the popcorn machine from Ladera Rec.
We don't need
And
that.
okay, all right, good. One less thing to worry about.
Yeah,
Oh,
we try to
and
keep it simple.
did you want me to get those bingo things?
No, I don't think we need it.
How are you gonna do it
Oh,
then?
pens, I have pens. Paper and pens.
Okay. I'm gonna look into them. I think that'd be fun.
But then those bingo things,
Don't tell me what to do. I'll figure that out by now. Okay, anything else on game night?
no, no bingo things.
Good job. Okay, let's go.
I have,
Um,
well, I'm sorry. I do have a question, not about music trivia night, but we had somebody who runs the Arts Fest ask us about, she didn't want to put the Arts Fest on the same date as the
Oh,
picnic.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
she did let me know the dates they were looking at. I said, well, we don't know if we're going to be able to have a picnic because we might not have a budget for it. Why don't you let me know your dates and we'll try to work around you this year? And so she said they're looking at the 6th or the 13th of September. She said Labor Day weekend is the 1st, so that's out. And then she mentioned Rosh Hashanah is 9/22, but that's not on a weekend. But it looks like it's only one day, but I wanted to make sure I was aware of that. But she did mention that date in September. So, I mean, if we thought we were going to do a September picnic, we still had the 20th or the 27th, which is
Yeah.
kind of around when we've done it anyway, right?
Yeah, it was
Well,
9:21.
yeah, we kind of have to look at the Stanford games. We always look at the Stanford games.
And also the softball, Mike, the softball championship's always on a Sunday though, right?
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know when budgets will be final. I don't think they'll be final till April. So I don't think we'll know what the budget will be until the April timeframe. So we may not set a date for another couple months. So
Well, could we just tell her we'll take the 20th or the
I should just
27th?
tell her she should
Yeah.
plan it and we'll
And
just
let us
work
know.
around it.
And okay. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because she
No, I
really
remember
wants
that
to know.
email. Thanks for
Okay.
reminding me.
So you
Mhm.
we think we'll get an April budget?
What was that?
You'll have the answer in April on whether or not we have any money.
I think it's April is when they start talking about budgets. So
Okay.
I don't know. It's on my list to talk to Mark about. So
Yeah, on the budget side, after the finance committee today, they're trying to crush the schedule down. And they want to present here's what we want as a town in the next month or so to the town council. And there's also, here's what we can get afford. So I think it'll continue to wind down the clock, but it could easily be April or later before it's all locked in. So I'm not sure that's new news, but that was from the finance committee today.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, Daybell. I'm thinking April at the earliest, but depends on how tough it is to get to that balanced budget.
Mm.
Okay. Anything else on game night? Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to say good night. I have to go help finish closing up the
Okay.
library. Thank you guys
Oh.
for being so welcoming.
You mean
Nice
this
to
isn't
meet you,
exciting enough
Melanie.
for you?
Right.
Come on.
Good one.
We're the funnest committee. I just want you to remember that. We have the
I'll-
most fun.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. for
Thank you
having
very
me.
much for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Hopefully, I'll be able to be able to join in every once in a while. I don't think I'll be able to get to all of them, but I'll do my best.
Okay.
Thank you so
Great.
much.
Thank you, Melinda. Bye-bye. Okay. Anything going on down at the courts?
Justin came to see me about the Corte Madera School coming to use the courts, as they do every year. And I asked him about the condition of the courts because they're pretty bad right now. And he said that when they built the courts in 2008, that it was intended that they would resurface the courts every 10 years. And of course, they never have. And now they really need it. And so I asked him to call Saviano, which he did, or to get an estimate for what it would cost to resurface all 3 courts and paint and do everything. And it's still only $10,000 a court. So at this point, all I need to know is whether or not we can raise the money for it and give it to the town and how to do it. I mean, 30,000 is a really doable number. And I'm pretty sure the town won't have the money to do it themselves this year or next. What do you think?
So I agree with you, Cindy. And I think that there are some other things that I think that residents would be willing to support as well. And I think, Patty, if you could have a conversation with Mark about having people be able to donate to the town for specific purposes, it would be a really great thing. There's a lot of things out there that I think people might be willing to put, to donate to. We just need to set up a system and a process to make it work.
Yeah,
It
it's
may
on my
be set
list
up
to talk
already.
to him about. I mean, I know it was on my list to talk to Corey and we never got any resolution on it. But I remember we used to have a fund that
Exactly.
people donated to. I don't know why it's so difficult.
Because we just
So-
haven't had anybody to talk to about it. The only thing I could think of is that when they built the town center, that a lot of the town center was built by personal donation. And so they had to have a system set in place for that. The lawyer at the time was a woman named Sandy Sloan. I'm pretty sure she was there for 25 years or so. And she's a pickleball player that I taught. So I'm going to contact her and find out what they set up for that. And that gives me a hint on what we would need to do for any kind of donation to the town, whether it be for court resurfacing or for regardening. I mean, it doesn't matter, really.
Yeah, and you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, we have a fabulous finance director. And
Oh,
if you
Andrew?
want, his name's Tony McFarland.
Yeah,
I
Tony's
would be
amazing.
happy.
Okay.
I would be happy to contact him and ask him if he can find where that is and how people do it.
I can
Because,
contact him if you want.
Okay, if you want to,
Yeah, I
that
have
would be
already
great. But
contacted him about everything.
he is a sharp guy, and he'll be able to figure it out. And I'm sure that the town would welcome private
Okay.
donations.
I will do
Yeah.
that.
All right, thanks, Cindy.
He'd be the perfect person, wouldn't he? Private.
I think he might be.
Yeah, because I was told that I needed to talk to legal, but I'm not sure I do. I mean, I just don't know, it's not, but you're right. the
He might
finance
be
guy
able to
is better.
find an account. He might be able to find the account that the stuff would go into.
Yeah, good, okay.
Yeah, I think you need both. I mean, Tony's a great guy, but he's a finance guy. And
Exactly.
some of this is legal, so they're gonna have to do, it'll have to be both eventually.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think Tony would be the guy who would set up the process. I don't think he's the guy that's gonna say, yes, you can do it, or no, you can't. So
Good,
I think
I
that
will do
is,
that.
but I think we should get an answer, because I agree with you. There's things that we could be doing. So,
Well, there's a lot. I mean, even if, let's say, there is no budget for a town picnic, I mean, we could have donations and underwriting and all sorts of things to get that town picnic paid for, if we're allowed to donate funds for that. Any number of things. It could be fixing a water fountain if they don't have funds, or
well, or if there's not enough money for a town picnic, but we still have, make up a number, $10,000. What would we spend $10,000 on? You
yeah,
know,
exactly.
And
Yeah,
I will be the first person to let you know that I will donate the dunk tank.
You'll underwrite the dunk tank?
You're gonna be on the dunk tank?
You know what? I just might be at this point.
That
Someone's
depends.
gonna have to be on it.
That depends. Are you traveling in September?
Probably.
mm,
Well,
Yeah.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know once we set the picnic date.
Yeah, you'll be out of town. You'll be out of town.
yeah,
So-
a quick comment about the picnic. I don't know how big it is, but what John Badger found was trying to do the Palooza through the town was a train wreck. So he formed his own 501c3, and the sponsors could donate directly to that, and he breaks even or better. So if the town is too intractable and there's enough money to fund your own, a separate little nonprofit or even piggyback on his, I think he's 1,000% happier than before, where the town was collecting the receipts and losing them and all that. So just a thought.
Yeah, Dave, I appreciate that. I have talked to John about the Palooza thing. I mean, their budget's like 50, 60, $70,000.
Whew.
So they've got bigger things to fry than we would. And a 501c3 is a lot of work.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, absolutely. I just wasn't sure what the scale of the picnic was.
Yeah, the picnic's more like 20,000. And that's a net number because that takes into account that ZOTS basically pays for itself. But yeah, so we could certainly still have a picnic. It would be very scaled back depending on what the budget is. So
Yeah.
let's just wait and see.
Well, we've got a dunk tank. We'd have Boy Scouts with hamburgers. We're good.
We could probably get Todd Johnson's band too. I bet
Yeah.
you they would donate their time. So
I know
um,
people would donate. I'm not
Yeah.
too worried about it, but we got to start the process too. So
Right.
Yeah, in that vein, from the finance committee meeting today, they're going to be doing public outreach on what the public really wants out of the government. So for everybody who thinks these things are important, I think it's time to chime in. And then as I understand it, there will be a pitch on, here's what we the people want. Here's how much money we have in a balanced budget, and what's important enough to either trade off, or we have some mechanisms for borrowing money or going into deficit. So making your voices heard early and often in these budget road shows, I think, is probably a good thing.
that's a good call out. Thank you. Because I think, there's a lot of people that don't really understand what the committees spend their money on and, what those trade-offs would be. So that's a good call out. I'll make a note of that. Okay. Thank you. Anything else on the courts?
No.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, can I back up to game night stuff? Do we do we want to set a date or dates or look at potential dates for trivia night, or just wait until we know more about the picnic? That's all.
Well, we don't have to know about the picnic. I mean, we could set the trivia night date and have it be the same as music night. It's, free, but you
Yeah.
bring,
It could be
Yeah.
just a month later. October is a good time, don't you think?
Well,
You know,
maybe what we do is we reserve the room for something, so we get the room. Maybe that's what we're about. It doesn't matter what the event is, but just,
get a room for Parks and Rec event.
Mhm.
or how about like early November? I guess see, to me, it depends on the picnic. How far away we want it. And we can
We
discuss it
know the
next month.
picnic's gonna be September 20th or 27th. We know that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
No?
I really don't. It depends. I'm not sure the picnic is the same crowd that we're going for, that a Saturday night, event would be. The picnic is really more family oriented. That it's not the type of people we get for a trivia night. So I don't think they're connected personally. It may just be our commitment, more than anything, not the people that we are trying to target. So, I mean, if we wanted to set a date, I think we should just set a date. Karen,
Yeah,
you may,
I agree. I'm looking at a calendar. I think maybe like November.
Why not October?
I'm looking at the Stanford football schedule.
Okay.
The only game right now they have at home in October. They don't have any home games in October.
Oh, that leaves all those October days.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. The 18th is a home game.
So that would be 11 or 25. And how about November? Are they done by November?
No, they are not. They have a home game on November 1st
Ugh.
and November 22nd. That's the big game. You don't want that anyway. Only November 1st.
I could check with the town about October 25th or November 8th.
Yeah.
Is that, I'll check and we'll see.
Yeah, why don't you, and maybe just tie one down.
Yeah, does anyone have a preference? If not, well, let me see what's
October
available.
25th is kind of close to Halloween. I
Yeah.
think I'd do the 8th.
Okay. All right. I will check on both dates and we'll see what we get.
I think some people have early Halloween parties on Saturday nights,
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
especially if that sounds like then Halloween will be during the week.
Halloween's on a Friday night.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, I'll check on both dates and she can reserve both of them and next month we can pick the date. We'll do
Yeah.
it that way. All right.
Okay, sounds
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Right.
Thanks.
You're only allowed one backup of meeting, Karen. Good. You're done. All right. Nothing's going on with Hawthorns, right?
Well, actually, just as an FYI, there was a board meeting last week. I attended via Zoom. And one of the topics on the agenda was the approval to start fast tracking the historic barn in partnership with the Whites. who are responsible for Willow Commons. And the idea would be that the barn would get restored and be used for activities and art for developmentally delayed individuals. I might not have exactly the right term. And the board approved it. They did specifically, though, ask if the public would be able to use it, and making sure that it would be open to the public, and that the town, well, it came up about how much they had been talking with the town about this as well. And now that they've gotten the approval from the board, they will be going back to Portola Valley and holding an open house about this issue. But they will start working on the fast tracking of the barn. I let them know that, in my opinion, I didn't think a lot of residents were aware of it, and it was important to involve the Historic Resources Committee and other committees that would be involved in this situation. So that did happen.
Okay. Thank you. Rosati's field parking. So this is on my list to talk to Mark about, so I really don't have an update on anything that's happened since our last meeting.
Okay.
Dave, you something happened in the finance committee?
Yeah, it was kind of depressing. But so the fee study is going to take 7 months, which apparently is what these fee studies take, which this is why I never want to be a member of a public government. So we can't just jack up their rates. So the problem is, after the 7 months, that is then it starts the shot clock, if you will, to get the town to adopt the rates, which might be phased in, according to Tony, over several years, which struck me as like a little weird, especially for parking. So the short story is, I don't think we're going to get any relief, at least for 18 months, which just drives me kind of nuts. But I've heard from Helen Walter about why this has to be the process, and from Tony, and I guess that's the way it works. I don't know, but I don't think we're going to see meaningful monetary relief for a disappointingly long time.
So
But
Dave,
wonder, sorry. I mean, the other variable in that is that we have a contract with Alpine Inn. Do we really need a fee study to
Good. How you doing?
initiate the contract renewal? Because it's 10 overdue.
Rita's right back there.
Lindsay, can you just mute? Sorry.
The what?
Oh, sorry. Were you talking to Rita?
No, I was talking to my daughter-in-law.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think that's a fair question, except that the contract specifies these rates. And if we can't change the rates without this fee study, I mean, I'm all for it. If we can find a way to do it. It's just not clear to me. It's as simple as it would be if, no, I don't know. There's so many rules that were surprising to me. So I don't know if we can change the contract terms without the fee study.
Well, no, I think we can. And the reason is I'm solving for two things in contract renegotiation. One is, higher fees, which we may not be able to. The other one is we won't reserve parking for soccer use. And that's not related to the fee study. So I still want that front and center.
So, and it's funny, I was at the finance meeting for an hour and a half, and I had to get off of it after that. So I missed this conversation. But the other thing is after the fee study, they could fast track certain things that might bring them more revenue than others. That was my understanding, which would mean that the Rosati's soccer field fees maybe could move to the top of the list. So it could be one of the first things done. I mean, I would be hopeful about that. I don't know, Dave, you were there. Did that even come up as a possibility? Because I know the finance committee knows we need to charge more for that parking.
Yeah, I think it was a big picture discussion, so they were more concerned, I think, about resident permit fees getting jacked up. So that's why Tony made the comment about phasing them out over years or phasing them in over years. But I do agree with you. I think we should be able to fast track that. And I totally agree with Patty that any of the terms of the contract, as far as reserving space for the soccer field, all of that is totally negotiable. The only thing that's tricky is if we wanted to make money for Parks and Rec from Rosati's, that seems to be a little tricky.
Okay, thanks.
Okay,
Yeah,
well-
I should have stayed on the meeting longer, but I had to run out.
Well, I was going to and from a doctor's appointment in Fremont, and given the traffic, I was in the car for over 2 hours, so I had plenty of time to listen to the meeting.
For my own personal mental health, I decided not to call in. So as a finance person, I have to tell you, that is the most frustrating meeting to listen to. So that's all I'll say. Okay. Wanted to give you an update on the status of the AED units. On Thursday of this week, Justin and I are meeting with the person at Sequoia Health who is sponsoring this program. We're going to be walking around the town center. I don't know if we're making it over to Ford Field or not, but we are hopefully going to try and be identifying some locations that would be possibilities for installing the AED units that, again, they will be providing free of charge. All we need to provide is power to them. They will be monitoring them, making sure that they are working, and that they'll also be providing training once they're installed. So I'm actually pretty I'm positive about that. I know we've got one that's locked up in the Little League locker, which doesn't help us. So I'm just gonna go ahead and see if we can at least get one at town center somewhere. And I'm shooting for one at Ford Field, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's great. I think I mentioned to Patty before as a pitch, there's a companion app to PulsePoint called PulsePoint AED, and it shows you the nearest AED location. I've registered like the 5 at Alpine Hills. There's a surprising number there, including some that are outside. The only trick is to get them certified by PulsePoint AED. That in this case, the fire department has to come and, I don't know, say that they really saw what I saw. But you take a picture of the AED, like Ron Ramey's just put one in. There's a bunch of them around. So anything we can do to tie that into an app and then popularize the app, which is wonderful. Not that I've ever needed an AED, thank God, but it'll show you where the nearest ones are. And so I'd love to see it tied into that.
Yeah, my understanding of the way these work is you call 911. They somehow know that you're close to that AED. They give you the code to open up the AED and you can use it. So I don't know if that's how PulsePoint works.
Well, PulsePoint is it's basically which AEDs are close, which ones are 24/7 accessible, and then which ones are certified by an agency. But interestingly, like the one at Court 12 at Alpine, there's no code. As far as I know, you just open it and try and bring people back to life. So it's not a code-based thing in this case. It's more, where's the nearest one I can go to and grab the paddles and do something.
That seems kind of dangerous.
I don't know. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know. We have Mueller at Stanford too in our building. I mean, there's AEDs and I can open a little thing and kill somebody or not. I think they're not fatal. So I think we have a lot of them around here that don't have codes. So I don't know. I mean, not that it's a bad thing, but I think a lot of them don't have codes.
Actually, you know what I learned by watching TV, ER, as a matter of fact, is that what AED units do is they actually kill you. They actually stop your heart. Because, and then it's the body's electrical impulse that naturally tries to restart your heart. I didn't know that.
It's very exciting. Do you know that the tennis courts, there are 2 power outlets outside, which would cover both the tennis courts and the baseball field pretty easily.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well-
the AEDs don't, the units, they don't take a power outlet. You can just, like the one by, some of the ones in Alpine are just drilled into the post. And I guess they have a battery or something, but I don't think they have to be plugged in even.
Yeah,
I don't
these require a power source, so I'll find out on Thursday.
Good.
Oh, interesting. Because you can get a nice one for your home if you're concerned about your heart for $1,500 that fits in a little suitcase thing, and I
Okay.
guess keeps working.
No, my husband's got way too much insurance. I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay, so Cindy, that's where I'll be right before you pick me up.
Okay.
Are
So
you
you're
gonna be at
come to
town
the-
center? You're not gonna be at town center.
I'm at town center until about 1:30 or 2, but yeah, I won't be there then.
Then you're gonna be home. Okay, so just pick me up
Catch up with you.
at
Yeah.
home.
At home? Okay, got it.
All right, dirt bike bump track. So my understanding of the action item here was that John Myers, who's our committee member in absentia, was supposed to reach out to somebody to see if there was somebody who'd want to sponsor this, or if there was enough community interest to do this before we kind of went down this track, so to speak. Does anybody know or have any understanding if anything's been done here?
No. Mike, no.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does anybody know if the one at the Frog Pond is still being used or active?
No.
Yeah, there's 2 parts to that. The one at the Frog Pond that was built actually up in the woods was built by a bunch of very responsible parents and kids, including the ranger from Hawthorns. What happened, and it's been there for 2 or 3 years, was that some middle school kids decided to extend that into the frog, not really the Frog Pond area, but the kind of open space meadow area. And that was a bad thing, roughly. And so the kids and parents who built the original went out and filled that back in. And they still use the part that's up in the woods there as they have for years. And it's not, I mean, it's not super long or super exciting, but they seem pretty happy with it. And all the homeowners connected to it have agreed to it. So it seems roughly legal based on all the zoning. So that's the status as far as I know it of that one.
Okay. Well, I may drop this off the agenda. I think it was put on based upon just a comment somebody made in the forum. And if it's not something that we can sponsor, God knows we don't have room for what we need to do anyway, so.
Yeah, I don't think there's any more room there, speaking of room, for what they can do. So they maintain it on their own. It's fine as far as it goes. But unless you want to make something more complicated that goes into the open space, there's not a lot there. I mean, there's not a lot of
Well,
space
Dave,
between the
I think the thought it was maybe finding other space to make one that's more, monitored or maintained or acceptable to the neighborhood, whatever the right words are. But, we're lacking for space for things that we really want to do, so. Not sure.
Oh, yeah, that great point. So I think this one is what it is, and it's not going to be anything bigger. And if people want more bump tracks or whatever, then yes, that would be a whole project to find space. And if we can't find the dog park or whatever, or a tennis court or pickleball court, then probably not a bump track.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't
Right.
put that on the list. Okay. Then we have our items tabled for future consideration. Is there any other business that we need to discuss? Okay, motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Wow. Shortest meeting. ever.
Yay. Yeah, less than an hour.
We don't have
Ooh,
John.
good.
John's the one that
Good job.
talked.
Yeah.
Good job, Patty. And Cindy, you and I will connect. We'll
Yeah.
set up a meeting and we'll go over everything. Okay.
Great.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Goodbye.
Good night.
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 I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.